Well, hello, everyone. My name is Jay Berkowitz, and I'm pleased to join you today for this exciting webinar on Google Screened or Google Local Services. And we'll get right into it here. I'm just going to share my screen. All right, so this is a very exciting webinar topic for me because Google only changes the landscape once every 5 years or so, and they've changed it, and there's a significant opportunity for us as marketers and for you all as professional services companies. So let's get right into it. And why is this so significant and why am I so excited? Well, first of all, like I said, Google's changed the way search results come up. So you see here, these Google Screened or Google Local Services ads come up right at the top of a Google search. It's above the ads and it's different from the Google ads. And we'll talk about how this works as we get into this. And there's a secret algorithm, and we've dissected and discovered this secret algorithm over the first few weeks of this program. And this program's only been out for a couple weeks. And we're going to share with you how to get in these top 3 ads, or how to have the best chance of getting in the top 3 ads. And I mentioned that this is really exciting, and it's something that I wrote about 18 years ago when I wrote the 10 Golden Rules of Online Marketing. And that is that it's 10 golden rules. Golden rule number 10, lead the trends. Back 18 years ago, when the pop-ups first came out, remember the pop-ups used to pop up over your screen when you were on a website? You'd be on a travel website and another website would pop up over your screen. Well, as a marketer, those pop-ups were very, very successful. They were getting 30% click-through rates. And over the next 6 months, it went from working really well from a marketing perspective to being very negative. People hated pop-ups. We told our virus people and our internet service providers, get rid of those crazy pop-ups. And from a marketing perspective, it went from 30% success to actually being looked at as like, you were a bad player if you were doing these pop-ups. So this is the same kind of opportunity. Google Screened is here. It's right at the top of a Google search. If someone's looking for a lawyer, any kind of professional services, or real estate or financial planners, those are the new categories. This is right at the top of the screen. And most of your competitors don't even know it's there. Most of your competitors haven't gone through the screening or approval process. So if you jump in right now, get it done, take advantage of the opportunity. Now, we're here in October 2020. So if you're watching this in October 2021, you're probably a little late to the game. But if you're watching this live, this is an amazing opportunity to jump in, get screened, and get approved. And in this webinar, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do that. So here's my agenda for today. First, I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I'm qualified, or I believe I'm qualified to teach you about professional services marketing, about marketing your law firm website. We're going to talk about the leading trends. What is this strategy I call lead the trends? How you can get Google Screened or Google approved. I'm going to walk you through the really 4 steps you need to do that. How you get in the top 3. So really valuable is going to be getting in this top 3 right at the top of the page, so you get your fair share of phone calls. These are actual leads, actual phone call leads that you get from Google Screen. We're going to talk about managing the program once it gets live. And finally, I'm going to share with you what I call some pro tips. These are the advanced strategies we've learned since we've had these programs live for some of our clients. Now, one thing to know is that this is brand new for lawyers, for real estate, for wealth, for financial planners. But this program's been around for a couple of years for anyone who could come into your home. They started with locksmiths, garage door repair, like people who really had the keys to your house, literally, figuratively. And then they moved into air conditioning, plumbers, anyone who was sort of working in the home. So Google calls this program local services, but plumbers get verified, and professional services companies, again, the lawyers, wealth managers, real estate, you get screened and you get a check mark and it says you're Google Screened. So we're going to walk through how to do that today. So first of all, why do I believe I'm qualified? Well, I paid my dues. I grew up in Winnipeg, Canada. We're proud to say we're one of the coldest cities on earth. Some days we're even colder than Mars. And this is the beautiful skating rink at City Park in Winnipeg. But I got smart. I moved to beautiful Boca Raton, Florida. Here's my wife and my dog, Parker. And we live now in the United States, and we're proud U.S. citizens. Now, my background, I worked for advertising agencies and marketing companies, and I was a director of marketing for Coca-Cola, one of the longest marketed brands in the world. And I moved into technology marketing. And at Sprint, we were getting some of our customers their first emails, getting businesses their first websites. And I also worked for McDonald's restaurants. And I sold some of the most delicious, mouth-watering, and high-fat foods in the world. And then I moved directly to ediets.com and helping people lose the weight if they ate a little bit too much McDonald's. But it was a fascinating time in my career, because right around the turn of the 2000s, eDiets was founded in the dot-com bubble, and we were one of the firms that was really, really successful when other dot-coms were failing. We were driving 100,000 people a day to our website, and I had a personal testing lab where we were A/B testing different creative. We were testing different banners, different offers, developing an e-newsletter, and really developing some of the first internet marketing, some of the first great internet marketing of its kind. And I was asked to speak at the Direct Marketing Association, and that's when I wrote the 10 Golden Rules of Online Marketing. So 10 Golden Rules was founded from a presentation of these 10 strategies, which form the basis of our proprietary marketing strategies that we use today. And we've honed these strategies over 17 years of digital marketing. So I originally wrote the 10 Golden Rules of Online Marketing. I've written 5 books now. And if you saw my webinar last month, we shared the 10 Golden Rules of Online Marketing version 10.0 with case studies through the last 17 years that we've accumulated. I speak at some of the top conferences all around the world, and I've been featured on national TV talking about internet marketing strategies. And I even developed one of the most prestigious awards for professional services marketers. Congratulations, Jeff Phillips and Jeff McDonald, 2 of our recent Millie Awards winners. So our company, 10 Golden Rules, was founded out of the 10 Golden Rules of Online Marketing, and we're based here in Boca Raton, Florida. And we unfortunately don't get together like this. This was the Christmas party with our partner agency, Snap Agency in Minneapolis. We work on, predominantly we work on professional services and law firms, a number of great firms around the country. And one of the things we're most proud of is what I call the hockey stick. And as a Canadian, I love it. But from a business perspective, this is representative of the blade of the stick and the shaft of the stick. And as a marketer, as a business person, you love the hockey stick effect. Basically, these are website visits in the 2000s, and we got our website traffic for this law firm client into the 9000s. And these are leads. And we were getting 20, 30 leads a month, and we got into the 200 leads a month category. And now this guy is getting 200-300 calls, forums, and chats every month. And we've got case study after case study like this. I'd be happy to show them to you if you're interested in working with us. Now, this is what we call the internet marketing model. So I just want you to know that this webinar today is just one little snapshot, one little tactic in our overall proprietary 10 Golden Rules marketing strategy that we go to market with. And each month we're doing one of these webinars. So this was on pay-per-click. This one is the Google Screen. Here's the ABCs of SEO. This is the 10 Golden Rules webinar, how to be a law firm rainmaker, video. We've covered Google My Business. So every month we do one of these webinars. So please come back if you want to learn more about marketing strategies for your law firm and professional services company. So without further ado, let's get into this month's webinar and let's learn about why I'm so excited about Google Screened. And as you can tell, I've been doing this for a long time. So when Google changes the landscape, it's a big deal. And it's really, really exciting for me. So as I mentioned, we're calling this Google Screened because from a consumer's perspective, they're going to see the check mark and they're going to see that this company, your company, has been screened or validated or authenticated by Google. And you get the check mark and you appear at the top. Now, Google calls it local services ads. So the program you're signing up for is local services ads, kind of like Google calls their Maps program Google My Business. So you log into Google My Business or GMB, but the consumer calls it Google Maps. So in this case, we're going to call it Google Screen because that's the consumer-facing name. Now, as I mentioned, it's very important. These are above the ads and it's above the maps and it's above the SEO. So this is now the #1 thing at the very top of a Google search. And we're going to show you how the platform plays out. Now, it's different than Google Ads. So you can't get signed up for Google Local Services, Google Screened, through your Google AdWords or your Google Analytics. You need to create yet another Google sign up, another Google product. We'll show you how to do that. And here's one of the best things about the program. You only pay for a lead and you only pay for a phone call. So if somebody calls, like, let's say you're a car accident lawyer and someone calls and they're looking for a divorce lawyer, you don't pay for that. You can reject that lead, even if Google thinks it was a good call. Or if somebody's calling just for your location or something like that, that's not a lead as well. So you only pay for these leads, and all leads are recorded as phone calls or they come through as messages. We'll show you all of that as we get through this. And finally, I'm going to share with you the secret algorithm, how to get your best chance of getting in these top 3 boxes. So we'll get through that. So here's how this would represent itself if we, looked at the scroll all the way down on a desktop. Like if this was on my desktop or my laptop, you're going to see the 3 Google Screened at the very top of the page, then the Google Ads. Now, Google lately has been showing as many as 4 ads, but when they show Google Screened, they show only 2 ads, normally 2 or 3 ads. So again, this is going to change the Google Ads program as well a little bit. Next, we see the maps. So, we did a separate webinar all on Google Maps and GMB. So this is the first free SEO opportunity. And then down here below is the free or the organic listings that we call the SEO. And also very valuable, very important. Lots of consumers don't like paid ads. They like to click on the free. So you want to optimize your maps, optimize the free. But again, that's another webinar. So today, we're going to focus on how you get in these top 3 boxes in Google Screened. Now, it looks a little different on a cell phone. So you search car accident attorney. We see only 2 results, the way my cell phone's configured. And again, you only pay for a call. So if somebody clicks here, Rubenstein is paying for that call. You don't pay for clicks. So it's different than AdWords, where you pay per click, where they click over to your website. Here, you only pay when you get a call. All the calls are recorded by Google, and you get a tracking of each one of those calls, and you can see them in the system. And I'll show you exactly how that works. So let's say we click through to Rubenstein. Here you see, again, almost like a new website page that you can control in your Google Screened. You can control the pictures, you can control the listings, etc. And you're going to see that the company's screened, that their background and licenses have been checked by Google. They've passed the personal injury lawyer screening and qualification. And again, same thing for financial, same thing for real estate. This is available now for those 3 categories of professional services. So this company is screened and verified. And each call, this goes to a specific Google tracking number, and then the call goes right to your switchboard. So it's a direct call, and it's recorded by Google. And there is an auditory note that the consumer gets, that this call is a Google phone call. It is recorded by Google. And so that the consumer gets a heads up, and your receptionist gets a heads up when the call comes in. Now, why is this so important, and why are we excited about this? Because we want phone calls, right? If you're a professional services firm, a law firm, typically, if you get a phone call, 24% of those, somewhere between 20 and 25%, you can convert to a customer. If you get a chat, it might be 9 or 10%. So someone uses the chat box on your website. And when they fill out a form and you call them back, a lot of times they've already signed with another lawyer, or they've made an appointment with another real estate agent. So you've got to move. You want to move fast. You want to get the calls where you can immediately convert these prospects to an appointment, or get them to DocuSign and actually sign them up. So we love this program. It's direct calls. It's trackable. You only pay for real, legitimate leads. So the next section, let's talk about how you get started. If you haven't done it already, or if you did it and you're waiting, and we know some firms have been waiting like 6 weeks for approval. That's not right. You should get your approval within 7 to 10 days. So if you haven't gotten that, I'll give you my contact information to set up a meeting at the end of this call, and I'll be happy to walk through it with our Google reps and help you get screened faster, because it should only take about 10 days. So here's how you get screened. There's really 4 steps, and I'm going to walk through each of these in a minute. But we recommend setting up a new Gmail. You've got to put in all the profile information. Then there's a separate section for Pinkerton, which is the security company Google's using to authenticate your screening. And finally, you need a separate Google Ads account. So we'll walk through that. So the first thing is you're going to set up a new Gmail. Now, just for a demonstration purposes, I created a fictitious law firm called Gonzalez and Berkowitz, and Gonzalez and Berkowitz at gmail.com is going to be a brand new Gmail. And yes, I do recommend, and Google, everyone I've spoken to at Google, our Google reps recommend creating a brand new Gmail. There's something about the artificial intelligence or the way Google is approving companies that if you use like your AdWords and one time your credit card expired and your AdWords didn't go through, if there's any sort of red flags in the algorithm, it could hold up your Google screen. So it's really simple. Just set up a new Gmail, use the firm name or something simple, or use, firm name and the number 1, and then put in your own, a real cell number, whoever's going to be managing this, and a birthday, and then save the password and save all the login information. By the way, a best practice we do for all of our clients, we just create a login sheet. We use a shared Google sheet, and it's got your Gmail and all your logins, and we use that same Gmail to log into AdWords, analytics, and you own that. Like with our clients, we believe the law firm or the professional service firm should own all the logins, but we use it as a shared sheet, and you're the administrator of it, and we can access all of this Google information to manage your accounts for you. So you're going to, if you could write this down, or you could just search, create a new Gmail or log into a new Gmail, and then go and sign up. You can always find this stuff on Google. Google is really good at Google searches to Google products. So then the next step is you're going to go find the local services ads. So again, you could just Google local services ads or Google screened ads, and you're going to find it at ads.google.com/local-services-ads. So you're going to go through the process and you're going to get set up. So as I mentioned, there's kind of 2 sides to it. So side number 1 is you got to do all these things: the headshots, the license, the billing information. And then step number 2 is the background check that goes over to Pinkerton. So you see here, like, visit Pinkerton support. So if you want, you can grab a screenshot of all these things. But really, the best thing I recommend is have the principal of the firm with you and block off 45 minutes or an hour and just go through and fill out everything, have everything at your side. You want to have all the licenses for all of the attorneys. If you're doing law firms, real estate agents, whatever, you've got to have the license numbers, the expiry dates, and headshots for everybody. And you need other things like, obviously, the credit card information, the address, the hours of the firm, photos, service areas, etc. Well, I'll walk you through that a little bit. So once you get into the local services, here's all these steps. So you click on headshot, you add the headshots, click on license, add the license, background check. The background check goes over to Pinkerton, as I mentioned. Reviews, we're going to link that to our Google reviews. And that's another step. You got to link it to your Google My Business. And all the lawyers, you need the headshot, and you need the expiry dates, etc., their license numbers that they're certified with the state bar. Okay. And then here's the section with the lawyers. We got all these lawyers in there. We got them all approved. And then finally, the Pinkerton. So when you click on background check, you fill in the information here. When you click on this section and you see that this one's pending right now, we're just waiting for the Pinkerton to come through. So we got everything else done, everything else approved. We're waiting for the Pinkerton. Okay, so now you get an exciting email, and one of our clients in Miami just got his Google screened approved this morning. So we're really excited. And now he's appearing in the ads, and he's appearing on the second page. So once you're approved, you're ready to go. I'm going to give you some sort of walkthrough here, the live program and what it looks like. So basically the back end of Google Screened, again, you're going to use that original Gmail that we created to log into the program, and you can see all your leads, all the reporting, all your reviews, the profile and budget. You can adjust things, you can adjust your billing, etc. So you do all of that through here. And if it's a little tricky, you just got to remember to click on the hamburger. These 3 lines is what Google or what the internet we call a hamburger, because it looks like a little hamburger. But that's basically, it opens up this box. So you wouldn't have seen this without clicking on the hamburger. And as you're navigating through the back end, just always remember to click on the hamburger. And then down here, we blocked it out, but When Google asks you for your unique identifier number, it sits here underneath the hamburger as well. So some of the key things, when you actually see the leads, you can click on each lead and you see the phone number. And then when you click on this, it says show, I clicked it to show recording. So now you could click and hide recording, but you're actually going to listen to every call, and hopefully your receptionist took care of it. But then you need to go into the system, and you could train your intake people to do this. You need to go into the system and you need to designate whether it was a good call or a bad call, meaning was this a qualified lead, or do I not want to pay for this? So the way you do it is you click archive on the bad calls, inappropriate. Like, so if it's not a lead, or if it's, like I said, if it's someone who's looking for a real estate appraisal and you're a real estate agent, so that's not a good lead. It doesn't fit in the criteria that you defined in the program, because you can pick all of your practice areas or all the type of leads you want. So if somehow you got a call for something you don't want, you just archive it. And that means you don't pay for it. Now, before you do that, click here in the notes and add the reason. You could say, I'm a real estate agent and someone wanted an appraisal. Or I'm a personal injury lawyer and this was a divorce, somebody wanted a divorce lawyer. So you put that in the notes and you archive it. Now be careful. Let's say you're a car accident attorney and the person who called doesn't have any insurance. That is still a lead, and you do have to pay for that. And by the way, the lead costs are fixed across the country. So this is amazing, because the leads, what Google is charging per lead in New York City, we got our personal injury attorney approved in New York City, is only $61. In Miami, it's $151. In Indianapolis right now, it's $131. So I don't know how Google's coming up with these numbers, but certainly they're going to go up as more and more people are bidding on these. But right now, I mean, that's amazing to get an actual lead for $61 in New York City, because it might be $300 if someone searches car accident lawyer. The pay per click, the Google Ads program, it might be as much as $150, $200, $300 just for a click. And you're going to need, 5 or 10 clicks to get a lead. So a Google screened lead, $61. A Google pay-per-click lead could be $1,000 or $1,500. So that's part of my excitement with this program. You got to get in, get screened, get approved, and learn it over the next few months before your competitors learn it. So you're in the right place, because obviously we've paid our dues. We've learned this thing. Okay, so when you're in the program, either archive the lead or mark it as booked. The next step is you can ask for reviews. So you might wait a couple weeks to do this, and after you've already taken care of the client, you're a real estate agent, you show them a bunch of listings, or it's a personal injury case. A couple months from now, you're helping them, they're getting their medical paid for, you're taking care of managing the insurance company. At this point, you could ask them for a review. So there's two kinds of reviews. There's reviews in the back end of Google Local Services, and there's also the reviews on your Google My Business. We'll talk about that in a minute. So as I mentioned, there's a secret algorithm, and we've been sort of dissecting this and working with our Google rep and slowly extracting as much of the secret information as we can from the reps. So there's really 6 key things that weigh into the Google algorithm. Now, Google has algorithms for everything. And I kind of geek out on these Google algorithms, because it's kind of like the secret sauce for Coca-Cola, or the secret formula for Coca-Cola, or the Big Mac sauce at McDonald's. I've dealt with these secret sauces my whole career. But for the last 20 or 25 years, we've been trying to dissect the secret sauce of Google. About 20 years. Google's only about 20 years old. And what constitutes the algorithm that makes your ad come up in SEO? What's the best way to write your pay-per-click ads so you get the most clicks? And now there's a secret algorithm to get in the top 3 for Google Screen. So here's the parts that we've been able to identify. Number 1 is reviews. And I call this reviews and reviews because there's 2 different ways your reviews can impact the algorithm. As a matter of fact, there's multiple ways, because not only do you need lots of reviews, you need the reviews in the back end of the system that I showed you a minute ago. But one of the things that one of the reps explained to me is you also need recency of reviews. So you want to try and make sure that every week, you're getting 1 or 2, 3 reviews, so that you're constantly sending out requests on a regular basis, you've got to have an active review program. We talked about a tool called Bird Eye in the Google My Business webinar. Something like that is really, really valuable when you use one of these assisted tools, and you have someone who's actually responsible for requesting reviews from your happy clients on a regular basis. So you need lots of reviews. We see that the number one listing here, this guy has 800, 268, 235. Reviews is going to be a very highly weighted part of the algorithm, determining who comes to the top of the three opportunities here. Now, when I click on more personal injury lawyers, you're going to see a bunch of other guys, and you see that, you know, down the list, this guy's got 35, 375, 139. The lesser reviews have less likelihood of getting in the top box. So you've got to have a very active review program in your Google My Business, in your Google Maps. And if you haven't, mastered that, we can help you with that as well, or go watch my webinar on Google My Business. And then I talked about this a minute ago. When you click on reviews in the back end of local services in the Google Screen program, you can ask every lead for a review and type them a little note, request a review, because now you're feeding direct verified calls right into the program. So Google knows exactly where that lead came from. The next thing is responsiveness. Now, this is really important because a lot of the plumbers and AC guys figured out a way to cheat Google. And I always say it's never nice to fool Mother Nature, because Google doesn't like it when you mess with their algorithms. And what they were doing is they would get a phone call from the local services ads, and then they would not answer it and call that person back because you get the phone number. And they were cheating Google because they didn't have to pay for the lead if they didn't pick up the phone. And if they called the person back from their cell phone, there was no way for Google to track that they sent them that lead. Now, Google has put a penalty into the system for not answering the phone. So you want to try and answer the phone with 1, 2, or 3 rings to the best of your ability, because responsiveness is an important part of the algorithm in getting in the top 3. You want to make sure that you never have one of these missed calls to the best of your ability. And you got to make sure that if you use an after hours answering service, they're aware of this and they're answering on 1 or 2 rings to the best of your ability. And, don't ever try and trick the system, like I said, by missing a lead and calling them back, because it's, like I said, it's not nice to fool with Mother Nature if Google figures that out. The other thing, don't get any complaints. Obviously you're going to try and run your business very professionally, but if you do, deal with those immediately and very hands-on with very high level of customer service, because complaints or bad reviews are going to negatively affect your ability to come up in the top 3. One of the things we recommend, it seemed to work once we switched one of our clients from 9 to 5 to 24 hours a day. We seem to get a lot more leads. So that seems to play into the algorithm. And then proximity is important. And a number of reps have mentioned this. It's common sense, right? Like if someone in Miami is searching and your ads has a more likelihood of coming up if you're close to that person. But if someone in Fort Lauderdale is searching, you are not as close, less proximity, more of a chance you're not going to show up for the Fort Lauderdale Google My Business. Google Screen. And then finally, your bid. I mentioned there's 6 things to the algorithm. Depends who you talk to at Google. Some people say the bid's more important. Most of the guys say bid was just added to the algorithm. But what we're doing is we're maximizing our amount and maximizing. So I recommend you put a budget as high as you could possibly stomach. Don't forget, these are all generally very qualified leads. If it's not qualified, you can archive it. You don't pay for it. So you're only paying for qualified leads, and they're much less expensive than pay-per-click leads. So here we have like a $2,000, 222 budget a week for this client. We're committed to get 14 to 36 leads. And the program's live, and we already got a lead, obviously, in the past 7 days. But as I said, you want to set that budget as high as you can stomach. Okay, now here's the pro tip section. This is, we've been doing this now. We've been working on it for 4, 5, 6 weeks, getting everyone approved. The program's been live in some markets for about 3 weeks. Some markets, it's not even live yet. And by the way, if you do a search for personal injury lawyer or real estate agent, if you're not seeing these screened ads, definitely still go in and apply for the program. Get yourself screened. Again, financial services, real estate, lawyers, professional services. Get yourself screened, get yourself approved, and when the program goes live in your market, you'll obviously have a better chance to be in the top 3 because fewer people will know about it if it's not even showing up in Google searches. So the pro tips, I talked about this earlier, reviews, 2 different kinds of reviews. You need reviews in your Google My Business. You need reviews in the platform itself. And you can go in and ask for reviews in the program. Then I would also turn on message leads. That seemed to goose some of the programs we're working on. So again, there's phone call leads, and you can just click this one button, get message leads, and then you get it. It comes in as an email, and it goes in the system, and the person can fill in the information about their injury. Customer service, we talked about that. Super high level of customer service. Set your bids high, and reviews, and turn on message leads. So those are the pro tips. And now I'm just going to wrap up this section and take some questions. So why am I so excited about Google Screened? As I mentioned off the top, 10 golden rules, golden rule number 10, lead to trends. When something new comes out, you've got a 3 to 6 month window to beat your competitors to market. Imagine this. When we first got our New York personal injury lawyer approved, I think we were the 5th firm in New York to get approved, to get screened. So we were one of 5 vying for 3 positions. We were getting a lot of traction. Now I would say there's about 30 approved in New York. 3 months from now, there's going to be easily 300 or maybe even 3,000. And 6 months from now, I think there's some crazy number like 50,000 PI lawyers in New York. I mean, 30,000 could be approved within 6 months or 12 months. So it's a tremendous opportunity now. The window is closing every day. Get in, get screened, get approved. Call me if I can help, and we'll get you on the program. We talked about how to get screened. So there's kind of like 4 steps. First of all, get your own Gmail address for this program. It works really, really well. Oh, the other thing I didn't touch on, you also need to align the program with a Google Ads account, a Google pay-per-click AdWords account. The best thing we've found is set up your new Gmail, set up your local services. It automatically creates an AdWords account. Use that Gmail and password to log into the AdWords account, and keep that AdWords account separate from your regular AdWords account. I know that doesn't make sense, and normally we want to align everything, but this program's brand new. It's a lot fidgety. I was going to say it's a little particular, but it's a lot particular. It seems better to get approved, get screened, get the ads running if you have a brand new Gmail and a brand new Google Ads account. And you actually use the ads account to manage, to add emails and to add phone numbers and people who can get in and log into the program. So get screened first with your Gmail, then get your profile done, then get your Pinkerton done, your actual screening, and finally set up that ads account and align the ads account with the Google Screen. We showed you how to manage the live leads. Really important that you get in there and you mark the leads either as archive, a bad lead, or booked as a good lead. And that's important for the algorithm too, because you're giving it feedback. This was a good kind of lead. This was a bad kind of lead. And the algorithm, Google's system, will know what keyword each lead searched, and where they searched and where they were located and what the hours were. And over time, you're going to give feedback to Google. There's a lot of artificial intelligence. There's a lot of brilliant computer programs that Google's going to serve you the ads that are working for you, and they're going to try not to serve the bad ads. They'll just give that to another lawyer because that might be a better fit for him or her. We showed you how to manage the live leads in the program. How do you get in the top 3? So reviews, very important. Answer the phone, critical. Get current reviews and make sure you don't get complaints. And if you do get a complaint, to the best of your ability, you want to deal with that. Proximity, you can't really help unless you have multiple offices. And then the hours, we recommend putting the hours as 24/7 days a week. And some of the pro tips are things like, aligning, taking the message leads, getting, aligning your AdWords in the program, and getting in there, on a very regular basis and updating the program. So with that, I think I'm just going to take some questions. Oh, we do have a, if I can help, please go to this page right now. It's 10goldenrules.com, webinar-thank-you. That's where you saw this page when you signed up for this webinar, but you can schedule a session with me. So if I can help, just go in there. It's the easiest way. Just you can see my calendar. It'll book, you can book something convenient for you on your calendar, and then it'll set up a Zoom meeting for us. So it'll actually set the appointment, set the Zoom meeting. It's one click. It's super easy. Or you can also call the office and leave a number, 561-620-9121. All right. So now hopefully we got some, I already see some questions. That's awesome. Hey, Holly. Okay, Holly is just saying hi. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. Okay. Allison, do you have any idea how long it will take to get Google screened? I have clients telling us they've been waiting for weeks. Well, I said that earlier. It's about 7 to 10 days. If it's any longer than that, definitely, get on the phone. There's a customer service line, or if you have a Google rep, they can accelerate things. And the other thing I find is a lot of times it's hung up on a picture, like a picture doesn't get approved. And I believe there's artificial intelligence that's generating these pictures, that's matching the picture with pictures they can find out there. So what you want to do is, maybe just reload a new picture. We find that a nice clean background and just a headshot is the best. So if you can get that kind of picture, it seems to work the best. How would screen work for a national law firm? That's a good question. And I haven't dealt with that yet. I think, there's got to be an accommodation for that. And you probably just have to say that, our geography is national, because you can set the parameters of where you want those calls. You can set the proximity. So we just have to set the proximity for national. And I would also get on the phone with Google again and ask them that question. If you have multiple locations, do you create a new Gmail service ad account? Bonnie, good question. Yes. No, you create one account, but you can put multiple locations, and each of those locations has to be verified by Google. Do we get charged if the potential keeps calling the Google screen number? Well, again, you could go in and you could archive a call. So if somebody called 2 or 3 times, or if an existing client calls, you can go in and archive those. You don't have to pay for those. Let me do this. I'm on the screen. I can stop the share and just answer the questions. Okay. If you have existing negative reviews, should you still go ahead? Absolutely. Look, if you have negative reviews, you want to reply to those, like from a customer service standpoint. You want to be honest with the audience, because everyone can see that. But get in the game. Actually, one of our clients did a tremendous job, and Kevin, I think you registered for this webinar. So if you're watching, congratulations to you, at a law firm in Carmel, Indiana. And Kevin worked really, really hard with this tool we recommend called BirdEye. And BirdEye is a tool that sends out a request to a customer for a review. And you guys have seen these as a consumer, where the tool says, please rate our service on a scale of 1 to 5. And the people who say 4 to 5, it shows a really big link. It says, can we post this review on Google? And if they rate it a 1, 2, or 3, it's against Google's terms of services to not have a link to Google. But the link would be much smaller, and the 1, 2, or 3s, it would say, hey, how can we help? Please tell us more information. And it feeds back that information so you can hopefully fix that relationship with that client. So if you have negative reviews, I would definitely work hard on getting more reviews, getting reviews on a regular basis every couple weeks. And there's a number of programs we talked about in the Google My Business and the Google Maps webinar we did. And the webinar is available for replay on our blog if you want to see any of these past webinars, where we talked about several different ways you can get reviews. But, you know, some of my clients are kind of sick of me harping on reviews. But now, you know, it's even more important, because if reviews were important for maps and the free map SEO, I mean, now it's super important because reviews are playing into the Google screened algorithm. So you need lots of reviews, you need more reviews on a regular basis, and you need a high star rating on the reviews. What else we got here? Can we find out how many companies are vying for the Google screened ads that's in our industry? Yeah, it's super easy. Like if you search, you know, like car accident lawyer or real estate agent, right there in your market, and then you click on, it'll say more, you know, more personal injury lawyers or more real estate agents. And that second screen will show you how many people have either applied, because if they're in the process, it does show their profile, but it doesn't have the screen check mark. So if they're close, I think Google's putting them up so you can see how many people are in the market. Thank you. Allison asked before I answered. What's the number to call Google Screen? Well, there's two different numbers. So the best way to find a number for customer service is, you know, as I said, start setting up your profile, get as much information as you can. And then if you click on the hamburger with the three bars, and then the hamburger is going to, down below at the bottom, you'll see your account number and you'll see the phone number. The first thing they're going to ask you for is your account number. So you might as well just have that screen open and ready to go. This is cool. Okay, so I've got questions and chats. Thank you guys. This is awesome. I love getting a lot of questions. Will we get a recording of this webinar? Absolutely. So everybody who registered, will send you a link to the recording. But all of our recordings are on our blog. So if you go to 10goldenrules.com, it's spelled out TEN goldenrules.com, and click on blog. You can see all the past webinars. To get a refund, all you have to do is archive. That's correct. So you just want to go through every lead and either archive it or booked. Booked means it was a lead. Even if it wasn't a perfect lead and it was a lead, like if it was someone who was injured in an accident or someone who's looking for a home or apartment, you know, don't try and cheat Google. You know, accept that lead, pay the $61 or the, you know, $131. If it's a lead. Now, if it's an existing client or it's, you know, a deadline or something like that, archive it, don't pay for it. If you have existing negative reviews, should you still go ahead? We talked about that one. I appreciate the shout out. Oh, Kevin's here. Hey, buddy. And that looks like it's it for questions. So if there's any other questions, just go ahead and drop them in here. But this is pretty good. We got in. Most times I sort of allocate an hour in my head, but these webinars normally go an hour and a half. So we're going to get this one in under 45, about 45 minutes. So if there's no more questions, I'm going to wrap it up now. Let me just go back to the screen. And I'd love it if you guys, if we can have a call. Let me just find that screen again. So if I can help any of you with your internet marketing, pay-per-click SEO, content strategies, please get in touch with me. You can either go to 10goldenrules.com. Oh, I'm not doing that. I want to present that. Or go to 10goldenrules.com/webinar-thank-you. If you click this button, it's going to show you my my Google Calendar, and you can book an appointment that's convenient for you. And as I said, the app will set up the phone number for us, the Zoom meeting, and I'll be happy to help you out. And of course, you know, anyone who's looking for a digital marketing agency, that's why we do these things. SEO, pay-per-click, content strategies, e-newsletters, and of course, now Google Screened is one of our services. So my name is Jay Berkowitz from 10 Golden Rules. Thank you for being here. And I look forward to meeting a lot of you in the future.